Sometimes there comes a moment when everything inside feels too heavy. Not because something new has happened, but because you have been carrying the old for too long. You carry memories that should have stayed in the past. You carry words that once hurt you and still echo in your mind. You carry resentments that no one remembers anymore except you. And one day, the soul becomes tired. It no longer wants to fight. It no longer wants to prove anything. It no longer wants to return to the places where it hurt. It only wants silence. We often think that letting go means losing. But letting go is not defeat. It is freedom. You do not have to hold on to pain to prove that it was hard. You do not have to suffer for the past to matter. What happened to you has already happened. Your pain was real. Your feelings were real. But pain should not become your home. Sometimes we get so used to inner tension that we stop noticing it. We wake up with it. We live with it. We fall asleep with it. It lives in the body, in the shoulders, in the neck, in the chest. It lives in the breath, short, shallow, anxious. We smile at people, but inside we continue to fight. We move forward, but part of us is still stuck there, in a moment from the past. In that conversation, in that day, in that decision. But life is not happening there. Life is happening now. In this inhale, in this exhale. You do not have to return to places where you were not valued. You do not have to wait for understanding from people who cannot hear you. You do not have to relive again and again what has already hurt you. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means stopping the past from controlling the present. Sometimes pain holds us because we are afraid of emptiness. We think, if I let this go, what will remain? But emptiness is not an enemy. Emptiness is space. Space where something new can come. Calm, lightness, warmth. You cannot fill your hands if they are always clenched. Sometimes you simply need to open your fingers. Letting go does not happen in one day. It is not a button, not a decision, not a moment of strength. It is a process, slow, gentle, sometimes painful. Sometimes you let go and then your thoughts return again. That is normal. You are human. But each time you recognize the pain and choose not to hold it, you take a step toward freedom. You are not guilty for being hurt. You are not weak because it was hard. You are not broken. You were simply carrying too much for too long. Let go of expectations. The expectation that someone will change. The expectation that someone will understand. The expectation that the past will become different. It will not. But you can become different, calmer, softer, freer. Sometimes we must allow people to leave, not because they are bad, but because they no longer walk beside our soul. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some come to teach. Some come to show boundaries. Some come to help you see your worth. And when the lesson ends, life gently asks you to let go. You do not have to keep close those who cause you pain. Love should not destroy. Connection should not break you. Relationships should not take you away from yourself. True connection brings peace, not constant anxiety. Let go of guilt. You did the best you could at that moment, with the awareness you had, with the feelings you had, with the experience you had. You cannot demand from your past self the wisdom of your future self. You could not know everything, and that is okay. Let go of comparison. Someone else's life is not your path. Everyone has their own pace, their own lessons, their own pauses. You are not late. You are walking your way. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is allow yourself to stop. Not to run, not to prove, not to achieve, but simply to breathe and say to yourself, for now, it is enough to be alive. You do not have to be strong all the time. Strength is not tension. Strength is honesty. Sometimes the greatest strength is admitting exhaustion. Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself not to know the answers. Allow yourself not to hurry. Life is not running away from you. When you let go of pain, you do not lose the past. You return to the present. You begin to feel the taste of morning, the warmth of the sun, the quiet of evening. You begin to hear yourself again. You deserve inner peace. Not someday, not later, not after, but now. Sometimes the path to letting go does not begin with strength, but with permission. Permission to feel what you feel. Permission to be tired. Permission not to cope perfectly. We often demand too much from ourselves. We want to be strong always, calm always, understanding always. But humans are not made for constant tension. Sometimes, too much simply accumulates inside. Too many words left unsaid. Too many emotions hidden away. Too many moments when silence felt safer. And that was not a mistake. It was survival. But what helped you survive then may prevent you from living now. Letting go is not betrayal of your past self. It is care for your present self. You do not have to prove anymore that it hurt. Your body remembers without evidence. You do not need to justify your sensitivity. Sensitivity is not weakness. It is depth. Depth that allows you to feel life fully. Sometimes pain stays, not because we choose it, but because we do not know how to live without it. It becomes familiar, almost like home. Like an old house that is cold, but you know every sound of the floor. And the thought of leaving feels scarier than the cold itself. But you do not have to stay where there is no warmth anymore. Life does not demand heroism. It does not ask you to be stronger than everyone. A pause where you stop fighting, stop fixing yourself, stop chasing the better version, and simply allow yourself to be. With the breath, with the silence, with the present moment. Letting go often begins right here, in gentle presence, not in decisions, not in promises, but in the feeling, I no longer want to live in constant tension. You do not have to let go of everything at once. You do not need to change your life suddenly. You do not need to burn bridges. You do not need grand decisions. Sometimes, it is enough to stop returning in your thoughts to places where there is nothing left to take. The past does not disappear, but it stops controlling you. It becomes a page, not a cage. You have the right to build your life without looking back every minute. You have the right to be happy without guilt. You have the right to feel joy even if it once hurt. Happiness does not cancel past pain. It simply says, you survived. Sometimes letting go means stopping waiting. Waiting for a call, waiting for an apology, waiting for understanding. Not everyone can give us what we hoped to receive, and that is not always about us. More often, it is about their limits. When you release expectations, you return your energy to yourself. Energy for life, for health, for calm, for the future. You do not have to continue conversations that speak to you through pain. You do not have to prove your worth. Your worth needs no confirmation. You are valuable simply because you exist. Sometimes, the most important thing is to stop fighting yourself. To stop saying, I should be different. I am not enough. Something is wrong with me. Nothing is broken in you. You are tired. And tiredness is not a sentence. It is a signal. A signal that it is time to protect yourself. When you choose letting go, you do not become indifferent. You become free. Free from constant anxiety, from tightness in the chest, from endless inner dialogue. You begin to feel space inside. Where pain once lived, silence appears. And silence is not emptiness. It is peace. In this peace, you begin to hear yourself, your true desires, your intuition, your yes, your no. You begin to sense what fits your life and what no longer does. You learn to choose not from fear, but from respect for yourself. And gradually, life becomes lighter. Not because difficulties disappear, but because you no longer carry everything alone. You stop fighting every day. You begin to cooperate with life. Letting go is a return to yourself, to the state where breath is free, where the heart is calm, where mornings do not scare you. You do not have to be perfect to deserve peace. You do not have to be strong to be worthy of love. You are already enough. That is enough to begin. Do not rush. Do not push yourself. Do not demand instant change. Letting go happens quietly. It comes in moments when you choose yourself. Again, and again, and again. And one day, you notice that pain no longer controls your life. It remains part of your experience, but it is no longer the center, and in its place appears you. Alive, real, free.